Welcome to Warblog. It's been strange the last couple of months, actually. I don't know why. I seem to have been so under it on all accounts that it's now beginning to look a bit weird. I mean, not the game, but sort of things like progress in the game. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying really, but progress has been made. It's just I feel as though it's been made in a blur, in a sort of a daze that I don't quite remember. But one of the things that's sort of happening is that I'm referring a little bit more to the historic games, and obviously there's not a lot of actual real war happening at the moment, and obviously that's a good thing. It's a far cry from the beginning of the year when I had like 25 or nearly 30 scenarios, if you can sort of remember, when I was up to about what would be about here now. These ones, the Algad Plains and the capture of Saraqueb and the M4 and the M5 highways and things like that. Well, I can hardly keep up with it. But there's not a lot of it now, and I said it's a good thing, but it's coincided with this massive sort of overload of work that I've got going on in the background in other areas and things. But so, I mean, it's always been in my mind to cover other periods, which is what I've had a chance to focus on. But I'm still just sort of shooting blind, so to speak, and I just happened to be doing a bit of 1954 stuff in other areas, and so I found these, and obviously the 1979, the Uganda stuff, which I sought out, the Angola War, which all of these, but everything is going to be sort of dealt with. But I mean, this isn't really anything that I plan to speak about in this video, but what I do want to do, and hopefully I want to keep this video quite short, is this. Now, this is the Magumeri assault. Now, I called it that, and it's one of those stupidly small games that's almost hardly worth even thinking about, but it happened. They just basically attacked an army outpost in wherever it was in Magumeri. Now, the point I'm really trying to get to here is that there's obviously a lot of games on this site. I mean, not as many as there could be, considering the scope of what we're dealing with, but 770 games, approaching 770, is a lot. But you wouldn't necessarily expect to be seeing the same thing twice when it's as remote and as remote and obscure as this scenario, Magumeri. But when I saved it, I realised that I had another game. This is called Magumeri Assault. I had another game called Magumeri. I thought, oh, what I first thought was, well, obviously they've attacked this base before, and that's it. Not much to it. Boko Haram doing exactly the same thing. In actual fact, it just reminds me, Turks have apparently done another thing. I think in northern Iraq, looking at search and destroy for PKK units, and I looked at that and I thought, not a game, because that's what they do. They do it so regularly. There's hardly any variance on it, but I still like to cover them, and I think I've missed that one. Just because I'm so sort of behind on everything, really. So even when things do come off, I sort of miss them. But the thing is, I've already got a Magumeri scenario. I thought, I wonder what it's like. So I sort of, and there it is there, but it's from 2017. And I thought, oh, it would be the same map. But that's what I was thinking. I thought, I won't look at it until I finish this one, so we can see what this one looks like. And I thought, I bet it looks exactly the same. But it doesn't. Now, Magumeri is under there, I'm pretty sure of it. But I can't see from here. What does it say? Looks like Magumeri. Yeah, a recent attack by Boko Haram on an oil exploration team with a private militia defense force resulted in about 50 people killed. Reports stated that it appeared to be Boko Haram's objective to simply kill people. So I think the thing here is we got the same town name, but they don't look the same. So I think what we got here is we zoomed out quite a lot to get Magumeri in, which is obviously a city with all these other locations. So what we're talking about is 5 miles per hex. Maybe I'm just guessing on that, but on this one we've zoomed right in to the extent that we can't see anything. So what we'll probably find is that if you were to use the same orientation, because it is all northeast, southwest type orientation, we'll probably find there's a road coming from maybe here, going up like that, and then coming down here just like that. So we zoomed in quite a bit, and that is Magumeri. But I just thought it was interesting how, if you sit there long enough, the same places will come up again and again. I mean, it's that's already happening anyway. I mean, when you're talking about the Islamic insurgency in, say, Mozambique, is it Mozambique? I can never remember these places. I don't even know why I'm bothering to find it, because it's not. What is it? What am I even thinking about? The Islamic insurgency in Mozambique, or the Islamic? Yeah, it is there. It is exactly. So we know that it's going to be in Cabo Delgado, or wherever that is. This sort of section here, the same places are being this section here, Cabo. We haven't got the name there, but that's all quite irrelevant. I mean, the thing is, if it's in Mozambique, it's going to be, there is Cabo Delgado province. It's going to be the same places again and again, quite often the same towns, because they're going to be the ones that are being targeted. And it's similarly, if we look at the it's going to be under Boko Haram insurgency, really. But yeah, I mean, for example, this is the perfect one. This map, and I quite like the look of that. This map, the Lake Chad area is going to come up again and again. So, it's another scenario in the Lake Chad area, especially the Nigerian forces around here. I wonder if we can piece that together with what's happening at the moment, etc., etc. So I think the point I'm sort of trying to get to is that there's more that you can pick up on, I think, in relation to trends. And I think the more that you work on it, the more you become familiar with where these hotspots are. I mean, this is probably central to what's happening in the Boko Haram insurgency, complete. And this is where it's all happening. I mean, I can remember a lot, so the more you think about it, the more you work it, the more familiar you become with what's happening. I mean, I can remember, Chad was sort of pulling out of the multinational task force, and it was just going to concentrate on protecting its own border. I don't know how that's going on now, but so you pick up this sort of tool bag of familiarity, and so it's interesting when something like this happens. Now, I don't want to spend too long, because what I want to do is to actually, it's 10 minutes now, isn't it? So it's going to take me. The thing is, my computer's, this one I'm working on is really slow, and I actually want to do a full video. That is such a nice map. I like that. But I actually want to do a proper video on this one. And so it's just my intention to have a quick chat on this one. But it's already gone on for 10 minutes. I haven't even played it. Because how long did it possibly take me to play this? Okay, let's just play. Right. Well, why do they do it like this? Will they win? They are in a fort, so it should be. Or are they? They're not in a fort. It's not fortified. Oh, let me sort that out. So I have I've added the fort, so we'll now play it. So obviously, I did think of that in advance, and I thought that I'd put it in a fort because I figured that the odds would maybe give them a bit of an edge in defence. So they're sort of on a 1, they should be on a 3 now. Yeah, so it's 3 to 1, but they still won. Well, let's just move. Oh, we can't move in there at all. Well, that's the same. Well, they're going to move back in, or do they want to? I think actually they might run away. This is where you got to do a bit of grown-up thinking. What would no, not what would Jesus do? What would they do? I think they're going to have to run away. They can only move 1 hex. Would you run back into your fort, knowing that? I'm going to try to back into the fort, because if they move there, get 1 hex, they might get attacked. They're going to have to put up another fight now, but they might win. It might be a 1 to 4. That's it. And they hold the village for a couple of hours. They burn up all the trucks. They steal a bunch of ammunition and they run away. And that is how. The hell? That was weird. Well, we've destroyed the base. So, we're going to run away. And that's it. Game over. It takes a while for the reinforcements to get there. Now, again, it's not a game. But, and I maybe get a bit bored with trying to explain the rationale behind this. It's a simulation and an actual event that happened. And I think on the site that I got it from, Southfront, they show some pictures, and the Boko Haram said they killed 10 Nigerian soldiers, but they only showed 3 Nigerian bodies. But even still, that's 3 people that are not around anymore. And so many thousands of miles away from where I am, and where anyone is really who might be watching this, in the middle of nowhere. So, they're not necessarily wholly insignificant events, and I think it's symbolic really to put things into perspective as to these sorts of daily occurrences to some extent. And obviously, the last thing I want to do is to be an apologist for war, or trying to say, oh, isn't it so bad? Obviously these things go without saying, but I think that by looking at these small scenarios, and this is about as small as it gets. It's not a game that you can play. I'll play the Nigerians this turn, and you can play the Boko Haram. The other one I'm going to play in a bit is a game. So that's that really, and I only really wanted to do this because I wanted to show the comparison between this, and the things that I thought when I picked up on it, because it's exactly the same. 2 Boko Haram units versus an infantry unit in a fort. It's exactly the same game, but this situation is actually quite different because these ones are obviously private militia, defence forces, etc., etc. And the scale has taken, has altered what's happening as well. But I'm going to leave it at that, and hopefully it won't take me too long, and then I'll be able to get a good game of the other one. Okay, I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.